Hello, I'm Gareth Walker and I'm here with some post-match reaction to Bradford City's 1-0 defeat at home to Tranmere today in League Two. I've waited a few hours after the full-time whistle before I've done this match review because I wanted to see partly if I calmed down after the game. And to be honest with you, I haven't, so I felt I might as well just get on and do the match review. I'm 40 odd years of age now and it's not often that I get riled by refereeing performances. But today, you couldn't help but feel that Mr. Thomas Parsons influenced that game far more than he should have done. Honestly, I could stop the match review there and just say the two words sum that game up: Thomas Parsons. It was just horrendous, absolutely horrendous from the referee. Anyway, let's talk about Bradford City first, because Bradford City weren't great. We're clearly missing Sarcevic, Poynton and Patterson, as much as I thought that we would. Obviously, the Cheltenham game 10 days ago gave us a bit of hope that we wouldn't miss them as much as many of us feared. We dominated that game 1-3-0. But the two games that have been played since then, Gillingham away and Tranmere at home today, have shown how much we miss those players. Those players help us to overcome situations like today. They give us a bit of spark, a bit of magic, where a game that might be being stopped and slowed down every couple of minutes by a referee or an opposing team, and they manage to find your way to overcome that and win a game, and we're missing them badly. And it is a worry that they're both going to be out, or all three of them are going to be out for the foreseeable. I don't think any of them will be back within the next week or two, so we're going to have to find a way to cope without them. And the players such as Jamie Walker and George Lapsley and Michael Mellon and Callum Kavanagh are going to really have to step up, like they did in the Cheltenham game, and find a way of getting us through games like today. Let's be honest, we weren't great, but we weren't allowed to be great. A game of football wasn't allowed to break out today. Tranmere didn't allow it and the referee didn't allow it. There was no momentum, no flow to the game, nothing. It was stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, which is what Tranmere wanted and what the referee allowed to happen. Every free kick that was given, or every stoppage in play, the referee wanted to talk to a player, which made it slow down and no momentum. Like I said, we just couldn't build any momentum up in the game. We just couldn't get going, really. Having said that, we had two big chances in the first half. How George Lapsley's miss from Brad Halliday's cross, I'll never know. It's easy to score. It's an awful miss. And then Jamie Walker's gone clean through, and the keeper's made a good save. They're the two chances that we had in the game. We didn't really create much in the second half. If one of those chances goes in the first half, it's a different game, because Tranmere then have to come out and play, and they're not allowed to execute the game plan that they had. But yeah, we just didn't. We didn't take them, and we need to take those chances, because if you go 1-0 up in a game like today, the game changes completely. Tranmere offered nothing, absolutely nothing. I don't think Sam Walker's had anything to do all afternoon. And then they've got a penalty, which on viewing, I was in the Kop, so I'm at the other end of the pitch, so I couldn't tell properly at the game whether it was a penalty or not. On second viewing, it's not a penalty. It's in the replay. Jack Shepherd plays the ball. And the lad goes over, and he gives the pen. Now, in the build-up to that penalty, what the defence and the keeper were doing, I don't know. We got ourselves in an absolutely awful mess from the Tranmere throw-in. And basically, we brought it on ourselves, that situation. We allowed the Tranmere player to go down. We allowed the referee to have the opportunity to give a penalty, because we just got ourselves in a mess between the defence and the keeper. And basically, we gifted them an opportunity to score, and that's on us. So we've got to do better from the throw-in, because that is literally the only chance that Tranmere had all game. And they took it and they scored. Now I can't not talk about Thomas Parsons, the referee. I could literally end this match review could be a two-word match review: Thomas Parsons, because Thomas Parsons, the referee, has influenced that game far more than he should today. He is the one that basically created that game that was played today. Stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. He set his stall out in the first half when Tranmere committed goodness knows how many fouls, kicked our players from pillar to post at times, and they weren't booked once. We committed two fouls in that first half, or the first two fouls we committed in that first half resulted in yellow cards for Bradford City players. And that set him up for how he was going to referee that game. He might as well have had a Tranmere shirt on at times. It was horrendous. The penalty decision, like I say, I've seen it back, couldn't tell in the ground. But it didn't matter that I couldn't tell in the ground whether it was a penalty or not, because you knew in the Kop, as soon as that Tranmere player went down, the referee couldn't wait to give a penalty. He was always going to give it. Like I say, set his stall out from the first half. You just knew as soon as the Tranmere player went down, the referee were giving that penalty. There was nothing going to stop him from giving that penalty. And it's not a penalty. Jack Shepherd's played the ball. Like I say, that feels like 2 games on the trot now, where we've not been allowed to build up momentum in games, partly because of the way Gillingham and Tranmere have played, partly because of Mr. Thomas Parsons this afternoon. Just absolutely horrendous. A biased referee, an awful referee. I wonder if he saw in the build-up to the game that there were going to be 18,500 fans there this afternoon, and he was determined not to be influenced by the crowd. One of those where he's saying, I'm not going to be influenced by the home crowd. I'm going to make sure that I show that I'm not being influenced. And he's gone too far the other way. We've had him before. We've not had him for a while. Like I say, it's a long time since I've come away from a game feeling so angry at a referee. I'm getting older now. I don't let it rile me so much. But today, I couldn't help it. Yeah, second half, we lost our way a little bit, especially after Tranmere scored. We started to go long, which we just can't do because we've no target to hit up front. We panicked a little bit. I thought certain players were quite at it. I thought Brandon Kaler wasn't at it. Took the easy option too often. Jack Shepherd wasn't at his best. I'd rather see him in the middle than on the left-hand side. But at the end of the day, the referee has had too big an influence on that game, and he set his stall out early doors for what he was going to do and how he was going to referee and how he was going to influence that game. We've got to find a way around it. We've got to bounce back quickly because we've lost 2 on the bounce now, and we can't afford to lose any more. Otherwise, we're not going to get top 3. We're going to end up in the playoffs at best. Onwards and upwards with the West Yorkshire Football Show.